So at any rate, here is the Orbit drip timer that I bought. This is the first time I've used this brand, although it's been out there for quite a while. I have it set up at the moment to start at 7 o'clock in the morning, and it runs all of the drip beds for, I think I've got it set for 9 minutes. And it took me a while to go through the directions where I finally figured out where I can set up on each solenoid, which would be this pipe running out right here. You can do 3 different times to go off in a 24-hour period per solenoid, which is that little gray thing coming out there on the back. So now that I figured that out, I'm going to reset the timer and have it come on at 8:30 in the evening and run for another 9 minutes. That way our vegetables can get rehydrated right off the bat in the morning before it gets really hot and plump up with moisture for the day, and then in the evening I can have it run again, and that will give those plants a chance to rehydrate. So in order to make this thing run, you need to have a blank main line, which is that black hose, and I've got to reconfigure this because it's supposed to be going down into this trench that I trenched here about, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. So I'm going to have to put in some elbows and fix that. Otherwise my husband will hit it with the lawnmower, and that's not a good thing. So the trench, where'd it go? Goes all along here. You can see that line in the sod where it's kind of brown, and it comes all the way down here to our first bed. And we have it popped up right down here in the corner, and you can kind of see where the line comes. And I put in a T there, and the T runs up into the corner of the flower bed where there's a shut-off valve. And then you see the small 1/4 inch drip emitter line, and those drip emitters are every 6 inches. So there is a line that goes directly under the row of beans right at their roots. And then I ran another line that circles around with the help of my husband, the tomato plants, and it will keep them nice and warm, or nice and wet. You can see the drip line runs along the edge of our beds here, and then right here we put in another T and ran it over here to my center bed, and then we stubbed out the brown line because eventually there's going to be another L-shaped garden bed right there. So this one once again comes up with a line inside the bed, has the blue shut-off valve that I can shut off if for some reason we harvest a raised bed and we haven't got anything else planted in that one. I can shut the water off so that, because there's no need to water it if there's not any crops in it. And this has the corn and the sweet Walla Walla onions, because I like Walla Wallas. It's a taste of home. I almost like them better than the Vidalias. And then you come back over here, and last night when my husband was helping me, I asked him to pull the main line tight, and he didn't get it tight, so we've got a little bit of a loop right there, but that's okay. And again, another shut off, the main line with no emitters in it, which is the brown, and then we ran more of the 6-inch 1/4 line drip, and it runs in here for the watermelon, which I've never grown before, so I'm kind of excited to see how that's going to do, and all of our corn. It's just Tony and I, so I don't go overboard on a lot of crops. I don't like to can, although I can do it, but we may be canning a few green beans when they're ready. So that's all in this bed. 2 lines. There's 2 lines with the tomatoes. I've got 3 lines in with the carrots and the onions because they're kind of heavy feeders and heavy water intakes. And then we have that black line that comes still along here makes a turn around the corn bed, and then we stubbed it up down from here up into this L-shaped bed. We have another shut-off valve, and then I ran one line and looped it back onto itself because there's only 4 plants in here. This is my yellow zucchini, and there's 2 of those, and then we have the cucumbers. So it goes around that cucumber, and then I brought it across here, and then I ended it in here with this plant somewhere. There it is right there. I need to get another staple and staple that down. It doesn't want to stay put, but at any rate, this is how I water my garden. It's also how I water the flowers that you can see up there on the balcony. That system that runs up there was the first one that my mother helped me put in back in 2000, either in 9 or 2010. And once I realized that it's not that hard to put a drip in, which it really isn't. I mean, anybody can do it. You just have to get the parts. That's when my gardening green thumb took off. So, you know, don't be afraid to do a drip, y'all. It's not that difficult. I seem to be pretty successful with it, and take my word for it, I'm a better horse trainer than I am a gardener. Anyway, you guys all have a great day, and don't be afraid to play with drip. It's good stuff.